Hello everybody, Natarad here with another commentary on ARMA 2, the free edition. I'm going to take you through a quick demo on how to set up your own mission without having to get into the complicated parts of the game editor, such as waypoints, setting up enemy, and all that sort of thing. So this will allow you to create a quick mission, and the game will automatically generate enemy. It'll automatically generate missions for you to accomplish. You'll get scores, you'll get paid money where you can buy more soldiers or vehicles, that sort of idea. So it'll allow you to get right into the game to play. And that's the best way to learn. What everything does is just to play around. So under single player, we'll go to the editor. You get a choice of two maps here. I'll select this one here because it's the huge map. It will give me more options. And we'll just say continue. Now this is a huge map. You'll find out when you get into the game just how huge this sucker is. So just select anywhere on the map to set up your soldiers and everything for playing. Doesn't matter where, because the game will automatically generate a random spot for your team to form up. So along the right hand side, select your unit. We're going to create you on the map somewhere. Just double click. We'll go Blue Force, United States Marine, and it'll be a man, and it'll be player on the left hand side here. Over to the right, we'll make him a sergeant. Don't really want to be bossed around too much. And we'll create him as a squad leader. That way he gets a few more toys to create with. And give him a name. And I will... And my skill level, of course, I'm an expert, so I'll slide that way up. Okay. So we got you created. Now we don't want you in the battle all by yourself, so we'll just quickly go over to the right here and select groups, or click on your F2 button, and we'll give a couple of groups to play along with you. I'll make sure there's a Blue Force on your team, and because this is a huge map, we'll say it's a motorized infantry group, and we'll select motorized section. We'll put them in. And because it's a huge map, the enemy may have APCs or tanks. So we'll have a motorized anti-tank section as well. Now we don't want a whole bunch of different individuals going around the battle. So if we zoom in using the mouse wheel, we'll see that there's little lines connecting everybody up to one soldier. Same as over here. That means they take orders from that one soldier. So we go into units off to the right here, just click on units, select that fire team leader, and we'll make him a lieutenant because we're going to make him the lead guy of everything, and we'll put his skill level up maximum because we don't want him to die early. And we'll do that with every soldier and vehicle. Just move their skill level up. We don't want to start out with too many troops and vehicles because this is just to quickly get you into a game that you've created. Move the skill level up, and because you have to do this with each individual soldier, it would take a long time. So we're just going to do this quickly. Make sure the vehicles are up as well. That'll make them drive more intelligently. This guy is a sergeant. Everybody's Run the scoops, take orders from him, and make them intelligent, not rate out of completely basic. And the vehicles. Okay. Well, like I said, we want everybody to take orders from one person. So we'll go back over to groups, and how these lines appear is we'll select this guy, and we'll say you take orders from him. And you take orders from him. And these two vehicles take orders from him, because there's a driver in there. So if you select the group, it's corporal in there. Okay. Now, because this is a huge map, you don't want to be stuck out here without a vehicle yourself. So we'll stick a couple of vehicles in here. Instead of just double click on the map under units. Instead of selecting blue force, we'll select an empty item. And out of all this, we'll select the car. And we don't want to die too easily, so I'm going to select an armored. And because I'm going to have a full squad later on, I'm going to want an APC. So a LAV, Light Armored Vehicle, United States Marine Corps. I'll call this, you don't have to name them, I just like to name them. I'll call this Taxi 1. Okay, and just in case it gets destroyed, or if I decide I want a big section, I'll create another one. Everything's the exact same, and I'll say this is Taxi 2. Okay, so we got all of our men that are going to be participating in our side of the game created. Now, to create the game and have it automatically do things for us or enable things, off to the right select modules or F7. And just off to the side so that it doesn't get too mixed up in here, double click in the map somewhere, and there's a whole selection here. I'll leave a link down in the description as to what each of these things do, and as you progress more and more with playing around, you'll find out what these things do and whether or not you want to use them or not. Now, ambient civilian vehicles. What that does, it'll put civilian vehicles in all of the villages. And in case my two APCs get blown up, I don't want to walk all that distance back to my base. So we're going to select ambient civilian vehicles. That'll place civilian vehicles all around the map. So we can steal them and drive back to our base to pick up a new APC. So we'll say OK, and you see a little blue indicator show up. It doesn't show up on the real map. This is just the editor. It shows up in here. Now the next thing we want is we want our soldiers to be able to heal each other. So we'll select these first aid options here. First aid action, first aid battlefield clearance, and first aid simulation. And again, the link down below in the description will tell you exactly what these things do. I'm just showing you what buttons to click right now to get right into a generated mission for yourself. Okay, another module we need is a garbage collector. And what that does will clean up anything off in the ambient life of the game, and it'll clean them up and delete them so you don't have to worry about them being around and taking up GPU and memory and all that stuff, slowing the game down on you. As the game progresses and it gets more complicated, then you definitely want that in there. And we'll double click again. Now we want warfare. Now this is the engine that's going to create missions for you. It'll have preset missions already set up, as well as it'll create new side missions all along the way. So we'll select that, and the one called SecOp Manager, just put that in there for later on. That's basically got everything all set up for you. Now they're all well and pretty, but they're not going to, some of them are global, such as ambient vehicles that can be out here all by itself, not connected up to our characters, and it'll automatically put vehicles out there. But for this demonstration, we're just going to get in the habit of connecting everything up to everything. So we got to synchronize all of these with all of your modules. So if you go off to your right here, click on Synchronize or your F5 button. Grab you want to be in the game, right? So just draw a line from you to all of the modules. Warfare 1 is important. Now you want your two vehicles that you just put in there to definitely show up in the game. So now these don't have drivers. You'll drive them yourself or buy a soldier to drive them for you. Remember, we created these empty. That's the only way they're going to be available to you to be under your command. Okay. Now you've seen with the individuals up here, I had to draw a line with every item that I put on the map so far. Now the reason we made this guy the commanding leader of all these troops that we put in the field, I only have to connect him with the modules. Because everybody takes orders from him, they'll be automatically connected. And for this demonstration, we're not going to create an entire army here for now. So we only have to have one group leader and just connect him with all of these things. Now the next thing we want to do is go save. Because we're editing this and doing trial and error, we'll just keep it under user missions and name it something that you can find easily later on. And I'll put an underscore so it shows up at the top of the list, and I'll call it Norks Mission. And just say OK. Now we can go into and preview this. Now what's going to happen is, because we have the Warfare module, it'll randomly place you somewhere on this map, along with everybody that you have connected with that Warfare Manager module. You don't have to create any enemy. The game will automatically create them and place them randomly around the map for you to have missions to take things away from them. So we want to go into preview. And this will load up the game so that we can preview what the mission is going to look like. As soon as the game starts up, it's going to ask you who do you want to command the army. We're just going to say an AI is going to command the army. That way he'll give us tasks. We don't have to worry about distributing out orders. We just want to get in and have some fun. So right now it's just generating all the random spots. As you come in, you see the voters list here. We're going to select the AI to be the commander. Notice that it changes over the one. Close that down. And you see, it places us randomly somewhere on the map with everything that we synchronized into those modules. And as you see, new buildings are going to be appearing. And that's from the headquarters. They're going to produce a bunch of things for us. And here's the two empty APCs that we chose. we click on the M button, that'll bring up our map.
Barrack constructed.
As you see, we got a GPS down here telling us exactly where on the map we are. We got a compass and a watch, so we know what time of day it is. Like we really care about that right now. And you see, it has cities all around the map. No missions yet. Off to the left here, the missions or tasks will show up as soon as the commander issues them. As you see, a new task is now assigned. We have a recon assigned to us immediately. Off to the left here on the map, click on tasks, and all the tasks assigned to you will show up in this list. And this list does get longer, don't worry about it. As you complete one, more will be issued. Now if these individual soldiers take over a base, then that task will be crossed off your list. If you double click on it, it'll take you into where it is. So we'll just roll our mouse wheel to zoom in. So that's the recon area that the computer wants us to go to. And you don't have to do that one. You can choose any of these missions that you want. Just double click on it.
Service point constructed. This is HQ. Alpha. Over.
Yes, this is Alpha. Over.
Intel shows a convoy en route near your position. Are you free to intercept and destroy? Over.
See, that's a side mission the computer just generated. You can choose to do that or just carry on with the task that you were assigned. As I said, if you double click on it, it'll take you to show you where the task is and give you a short description of what it is. If you want that to be your current task, off here to the right it says set as current task. Just click on that and it'll show up on the map. And go over here, click on that, just see where that is. Or click on recon. That's the original mission or task that was assigned. We'll set that back to our task. So if we click on M again, not click on, but push the M button, that'll take us out of map and back into reality. Now if we click on the mouse wheel or roll it down, a new menu will pop up to the left here. You see that? I roll my mouse, new menu will pop up. Just roll your mouse to select whatever you want. And we want to buy some soldiers to come along with us. So it'll generate a list of what's available in the area that you are.
Other units will handle the convoy. Over.
Affirmative. Alpha.
I changed my voice a little bit in my character's voice so you can tell when I'm talking and just when the other soldiers are talking. But anyway, in here, it'll show you in the upper right hand corner how much funds you have to spend. And in the middle left, a list of items that you can buy. Now I have an APC that I want to take around with me, so I'm gonna get a free crewman. As you see, my funds are going down as these are being generated. I need 3 because I want somebody to command the APC, I want a gunner, and I want a driver. Now an APC will hold 9 crew all total, including yourself and including the crew. So I have those guys. So I want also a medic, which is called a horseman here. Corpsman. I want to make sure that if I get injured, somebody's going to heal me. So we'll make sure we got one of them. You'll see I have $200 left, so I'm going to select a rifleman because they're cheap, they're only $100. So I just select that and then double click it, it'll show up, and one more. And there we go. There's that. Now you can select each individual soldier by selecting your F buttons, your F2, F3, it corresponds with the number of the soldier that you see down in the bottom left hand corner. And his corresponding number is in the bottom right hand corner of this little square. So as you see, we now have missions assigned to us. Alrighty? So enjoy. This gets you right in there, having fun. And as you play around with new modules, find out what things do. This is how you can test them out. Now, this is all well and great.
This is HQ. Message. Over.
HQ, Alpha. We copy you loud and clear.
Stand by for incoming SecCom. Friendly units under attack. Can you assist? Over.
We're just going to disregard him. Okay, this is all well and good. We're still in the editor, remember? Now we have to export this into our single player mission so that our games can be saved. So we'll go push your escape button. That'll bring up this little menu. Select suspend, and that'll bring us back to our editor. Now remember, that wasn't too bad to start out with. We saved it under user mission, and we can use this as a template as well for creating new missions. So if you want, you can save it again, and we'll call that Nort's template. That way we don't have to remember what modules we did. They'll automatically come into the new map. And we don't have to destroy our one game to create new games or play around with new modules or anything like that. Now we want to be able to make this playable. So along the right hand side, select save. Now in the bottom drop down box, we'll say export to single missions. And we'll say OK. And that's it. So what we'll do is we'll exit out of here. We're still in the editor, remember? Yes, I'm sure I want to exit out. So it's going to take us back to the main menu. And we'll go back. This is the main menu. We'll select single player. We'll go into scenarios, which is another word for missions. And you'll see we have what we put in there. Now, I didn't export Nort's mission. I exported Nort's template. Remember, the last thing we did was save it as a template. So if I select on that and say play the game, it's going to ask me the difficulty level. Just select recruit to start off with so you can play around. You may want to add more tanks to help you out, or maybe a helicopter or two to help you out. But we'll start it out as recruit just so we can have some fun, and we'll say play. Now what this is going to do is randomly generate your position and then place all the enemies and the cities. So it's going to take a minute or two to load up. And again, now we get to vote who's going to be commander. And I'm going to select AI so I can go out in the field and have some fun. Don't have to worry about everybody else. And close. But you see, it randomly placed us somewhere. If you want to see where you are,
Headquarters deployed.
Just click on M for map. And there we are. Way down here. And it looks like we're down the road of 2 cities or villages. So we're going to be pretty close to enemy. So zoom right in on us in this open field. And just push M button again to get us out of the map.
This is HQ. Over.
HQ. This is Alpha. Go ahead. Over.
There's my little chipmunk voice.
Light vehicle supply. Constructed.
Okay, so he's done. So as soon as you usually get a barracks, now on your menu will show that you can buy units. And again, just for a quick tour around, you will want to make sure that I don't want pilots, I want a couple of crewmen, that sort of idea. take that once. I want a medic. And a couple of riflemen to protect my butt. I don't need a $100 rifleman. And close out of that. Now, they'll show up with green diamonds, so you'll know which one's yours, and as they get generated over at the barracks, they'll show up on the left-hand bottom corner of your screen. And we'll get into that later on. But this creates a mission. If you
POWs transported to unknown location. Mission canceled. Over.
Understood. HQ.
Out.
So if you don't select a side mission, after a while, somebody else will solve the problem, and then you can carry on. Anyway, it's okay. Now we want to save our game. Go escape. Go save. And it'll randomly save throughout the game as well. But now, we go escape. Suspend. It'll automatically save the game as you exit it. Now, the next time we go in to play this game, back. So, we'll go into single player. The next time you come in, we'll go into scenarios, select our game. It knows you have some save points. So it'll say restart the game from the beginning or resume from where you left off. Load up everything that you had saved. Come in. And as you see by all the diamonds here on my soldiers, we're right back where we started. Or right back where we left off, where we saved the game. Now these soldiers over there in those vehicles that you created, they're under their own command. They take command orders from the AI commander that we elected. So they'll go off and carry on their own missions. So you can decide to follow them around and help support them in their missions, or click on M and up to the left at the top, select tasks, or carry on with your tasks. Sometimes tasks will overlap. They'll be going to places that you want to go, so that's great to have all that support from Gunfire. Alrighty? So that's how to create quickly your game to jump in and play this sucker. So you don't have to worry about creating enemy and creating waypoints and all that. This will get you right into the game, and then as you're playing this, you can say to yourself, you know, it would be nice if I had a tank in here. Or maybe it would be nice to have a medic, another medic. So you can go back into your editor and add things, delete things that don't work out to make the game enjoyable for you. We're almost out of earshot of that, but he just told all his soldiers to board up into their vehicles, and they're going to be taken off on a mission. Warning, we'll stand over here so we're out of the way of these vehicles. You guys can hear me. Now, a warning, as you're building this in the mission editor, you're going to be tempted to put hundreds of support on your side, helicopters galore, tanks, and all that sort of thing. But it's only going to create your spawn point.
This is HQ.
Alpha, over.
High value target marked on your map. Can you destroy that target? Over.
Another side mission, we're going to ignore that. So it's only going to put everything within a certain radius of this randomly spawned point. And if you have something like 10 helicopters, 10 tanks, stuff like that, everything's going to spawn in on the ground in that radius. And things are going to start to collide and explode. as the game starts. So you want to play around with that. That's how I found out. Have fun. Place a ton of helicopters, ton of tanks, and when you go into your preview, you'll see how things explode. So you'll say, okay, you know what, I need 2 less tanks and 2 less helicopters. Or let's put the helicopters so that they immediately take off into the air, that sort of idea. But yeah, this gets you right into the game to play. And from here, you can build it more and more and more, and just enjoy the game.
Cancel that. Destroy order intel was bad. Carry on with your prior task. Over.
Copy. That. HQ. Out.
Okay, that's everything about getting this created. I'm going to upload another video right after this. We're going to carry on with this mission, and you'll see the different commands that you can use and that sort of idea. I just wanted this video to be just using the editor to get started. Okay. Keep having fun.